Alright, first you're going to take off the axle bolts and then the axle shaft should slide right out. Then you take a 3/4 breaker bar and loosen the jam nut, and after that you should be able to screw it out by hand and the locking ring should slide out with it. Now you need to loosen the adjusting nut. Sometimes you should be able to turn it by hand.
Such a special needs style. God damn.
Now you need to take out the outer wheel bearing. Sure. And once the outer wheel bearing and the hub should slide right off. Now that it's all taken apart, it's time to put it back together. But first we need to lube up all the wheel bearings. Alright, now that all the bearings are lubed up, it's time to put the seal back in with the seal driver. Now that the seal's back into place, it's time to put the hub back on the axle. Now you gotta put the inner bearing back in. For the outer bearing. Now you put the adjusting nut back in and torque it down to 200 foot-pounds. Now that it's torqued down to 200 foot-pounds, now we back it up one full turn. Now we torque it down to 50 foot-pounds. Now you place the locking ring and the jam nut back on.
Then you torque the jam nut down to 200 foot-pounds while spinning. Then you torque down the jam nut to 200 foot-pounds while spinning. Then torque down the jam nut to 200 foot-pounds while spinning.
The hub. Now we take the dial indicator and see how much play we have. We should have the one.
Whoa.
Now we use the pitch gauge to determine the final back off, in which case it's 1/4 of a turn. Now we use the dial indicator to determine how much play we have. It should be 1/1000 to 5/1000 of an inch. Hi, Chris. Alright, we have 1/1000 of a play. Now it's time to put the dial indicator back and put the actual shaft back in. Now that the axle shaft is back in, it's time to put the bolts on and torque them down to 50 foot-pounds. And that's how you do the TMC method for the 4900 International.